Level 1.
Good evening, everybody. It is Monday. It is 2 weeks since the last stream, so that must mean it is Total Evercade Podcast time. Hello to everyone who is here in the chat already. We've got a good bunch of people in already. So before we do the round robin of who's here, let's see who we got in the chat. We've got Mr. Rob Taylor, who's always good to see you, my friend. We've got Mr. Skipkins in the chat as well. Good evening, Mr. Nick. We have got Kai Fletcher, wonderful to see you, good sir.
I wonder, just before we carry on, I wonder if Kai Fletcher is related to Cole Fletcher from Harchester United on Dream Team on Sky One. If you can let us know, you know, if you didn't watch Dream Team on Sky One, you will not get that reference. But yeah, I wonder if they are.
We'll see how
the
that one
fictional
runs down.
character Cole Fletcher. Are you related?
Mr. Nixie in the chat. Good evening, good sir. Mr. Triangle Face. We've got Ziggy. We have got Lammy Pie. If my mouse catches up. There we go. We've got Mr. Lammy Pie. We've got Snez-tastic. Mr. Pete, good evening, sir. We've got Mr. Crazy Burger. We've got Shadow Gaming UK. We have got a full house. Jason South, wonderful to see you. We've got Mr. Rampage Tog. I hope you are very good, sir. Really hoping that your campaign to be YouTuber of the month is going well. We shall check in with you about that. And then we have Mr. Arnold. I hope everyone is doing well. We've got a packed bunch of people here already. Wonderful to see. Cool. So let's just go through. We have got with us this evening Mr. Ryan.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to just point out that Goldtooth Gaming's here. Always great to see him.
Yes, here he is, Mr. Goldtooth. And you recovered from your birthday now?
I have, yeah. I'm fully recovered, drinking a beer again. So yeah, back to normality and the depression of being 40. So yeah, brilliant.
Middle-aged, it's setting in.
I know, horrible.
It's coming for us all. Not long to go. And also, wonderful Mr. Derek, Sir Top and Hat. Good evening, good sir.
Good evening.
And how are you doing, God? You all right?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Yeah, busy week, but yeah, very, very well. Excellent.
So we have got a packed show as always. We have got lots of things that we're going to be talking about. Little teaser, Ryan did say he was going to give us an Intellivision 2 review, his most favorite car on the Evercade. So hopefully he'll have something ready and spicy for us in the next section. But as always, let's kick things off with the latest news and what have we been playing. So, Ryan, what have you been playing?
Okay, so if I can grab it, I have been playing the Sydney Hunters collection, which, if you tuned in a couple of weeks ago, I've got given this as a birthday present. So this came with 4 games on it. So you've got Sydney Hunter and the Shrines of Peril, Sydney Hunter and the Sacred Tribe, Sydney Hunter and the Caverns of Death, and Jester. So I've had a play of the games on here. I'm giving a bit of a review now as well, really. But yeah, I wasn't overwhelmed by it, to be honest. I think these games could have probably been on an Indie Heroes cartridge. I don't think they necessarily needed to be on their own collection. Jester is like a poor version of Pac-Man, very slow. It's not a Sydney Hunter game to me. The Master System game and the Intellivision game, so that's Sydney Hunter and the Sacred Tribe and Sydney's Journey, all you seem to do is jump. It doesn't really seem much else to the game unless I'm missing something. They look nice, but the kill detection's really over the top for me. I think it's quite cruel how it quite unfair, to be honest. And it's a SNES version, isn't it? Sydney Hunter and the Caverns of Death.
Yeah, Caverns of Death SNES,
Yeah, it's quite nice to see Acclaim at the start as a developer. That was quite nice. I think you see that on the Master System one as well. But I like the look of that game. It's a nice looking game, but again, it's just ridiculously hard. Like a drop of water, dead. Touch a fly, dead. It's really difficult. But yeah, I wasn't going to give a review of that, but that's what I've been playing, as well as Intellivision 2, which I will give a review of shortly. So yeah.
Splendid. And Mr. Sir Top Hat, what have you been playing, good sir?
Well, just to touch on Ryan's Sydney Hunter, this month it featured in Retro Gamer magazine and they scored it 68%. So if you are interested in that, out of 100, it scored 68%. So that should give us some sort of indication of they enjoyed it also. But for myself, I've been absolutely packed to the brim, loving Forgotten Worlds. And this is just an awesome game on the EXP. And to be honest, I've forgotten just how good it was. And I put it on just for a short burst, and I've ended up being hooked on pretty much every night. I mean, it's crammed to the brim with lots of different creatures to shoot, and also lots of fatal obstacles to kill you off. And if people want a little hint, if you want to do better, if you want to not spend too many credits, one of my good tactics is on the first level, get the flying stone from the shop. Okay, get the flying stone from the shop and put your speed up to ultra high. Okay, and this will give you maximum maneuverability. And that will make you pretty untouchable for the first few bosses. Obviously, you'll still have to watch out for what they're firing, but it really does help. So that's just a little tip there for people that are going to get into this because, yeah, I really have forgotten just how good it was as a game. And, yeah, fantastic. It was magic. In fact, the first go I had, I didn't actually drop a credit on the first level, and I was quite impressed with that because I thought I'd be dead in like 30 seconds. That's why I put it on just for a quick short burst and thought, oh, that's all right, because I've got to get on and do some other things. And yeah, that didn't quite pull off as I planned, but yeah, fantastic game.
Excellent. I've been a bit lacking in catching up with some games. I'm just starting to feel myself again, so I'm slowly getting back into the world. I'm pulling myself back into the world of all the wonderful things. What I really like a Spice Girl, what I really want is to dive into a new cart. So
I've got one you can borrow for as long as you want.
Possibly not the one that you're going to review. So I'm going to throw it out to the chat over this year, because I haven't picked up a new cart for a little while now. And you guys join in as well. Someone tell me what is the best cart to come out this year so far. And I will probably dive on that cart once the stream has finished, because I need a new cart. I would love to have a new cart to play. I did, after our last stream, go back over Coffee Crisis, because I know we all talked about it in quite a good way, but we gave it some negatives as well. And it's been a really long time since I played that game. So I thought, do you know what? My evening game for a little while is going to be a bit of Coffee Crisis to try and just sort of familiarize myself with it again. And I'm actually really enjoying it this time round. And I don't know if it's just because we talked about it and said some negatives, and then in the back of my brain, I've kind of put it down a little bit. And I sort of went in maybe with slightly lower expectations. But I'm actually really enjoying Coffee Crisis this time round. It's quite good. It's quite good. So yes, everyone in the chat, throw out what is the best cart this year so far. And I'll try my best to keep a tab on what people are sort of saying. We'll get the general consensus, and at the end of the stream, I'm going to go and I'm going to get a brand new cart for myself, because why not? Why not? Middle of the month. Let's do it. Okay, so latest news. What is our latest news? Who would like to kick us off with a bit of news?
I was just gonna Nicholas Skippins in the chat has put the Evercade are going to be at WASD XIGN in London. I believe they're there now. Yeah, they're there now. I don't know. I haven't seen a picture of a stand or anything, or what they've got.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Be interesting to see what the setup is there. What people can play. What unless you know, Derek.
Yeah, there's a bit of Duke Nukem, a bit of Full Void, things like that. So there's a selection of sort of ones you can't touch for a few months to have a go on. So yeah.
Excellent. There's quite a few cool people heading to WSD as well. So for anyone in the chat who is going, our good friend Mag over at the Middle Aged Gamer Guide podcast or Twitch channel, he's going to be there. Make sure you keep your eyes open for him. Give him a high five when you see him. He's a really good guy. Yeah, anyone in the chat, if you're heading to WASD, do take some pictures of the Evercade stand and send them over to us. We'll put them in on the next Evercade podcast. It'd be nice to see them there because I don't think they've done a UK con before, have they, Derek?
No.
Excellent. So yeah, it's going to be nice to see a little bit of representation for the UK. Exciting stuff. So yes, news other than the Evercade at WASD. Has anyone got some news? Throwing it out there.
I thought Derek might have had something.
No, I mean we're going to cover the delayed. We're going to cover the delayed cartridges later on, aren't we? So yeah, I didn't want to sort of chip in about that. And obviously tomorrow you won't have the Duke Nukem announcement. That'll be coming later this month.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully worth it. That's the thing. So hopefully worth it. But pre-orders, of course, will be going live tomorrow for the cartridges. So yeah, if you do want Duke Nukem, do make sure you jump on them nice and early, because I'm sure they're going to be very, very popular. So how many they're going to bring in the first wave, I'm not quite sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you haven't and you do want them for Christmas, you might need to wait till the new year. So yeah, definitely get in on there early.
Okay, so wise words from Derek there. Get on that pre-order and don't hang about. These things do disappear quite quickly. Okay, let's move swiftly on to the topic that has been on everyone's mind for at least the last 2 weeks. The moment has finally come. This is time for Ryan's Intellivision 2 review. The cart that he always said bothered him that he could never have a complete collection, and then Mr. Nick Craddock got it for him for his birthday. What a guy. What a guy. And now Ryan has had to play it to tell us his thoughts. Ryan, I pass this over to you.
I'm trying to get a game going on it at the moment because I want to show you. I just want to play the sound of the game, but I can't get it working. That just sums up this cartridge for me. A lot of content and none of it works. That's where I would go with it. So I first started by playing auto racing. Took me till we get the game. Let's get the screenshot up from the Evercade website in case people don't know what I'm talking about here. I think that getting that on the screen, people can share my misery with me whilst I played this this horrible cartridge. And I'm amazed that I'll get to it in a minute. I will start by saying that I know a lot of people do have nostalgia for the Intellivision, and I do know that certain people do enjoy the Intellivision. So this isn't a personal dig at you. I never grew up with the Intellivision. The first games console I had was a Nintendo NES. So, you know, NES to me is miles away from the games on here. Anyway, so the first game I started with was auto racing because I thought I'll go for an alphabetical order on the cartridge, and you can see auto racing there. After about 5 minutes of faffing around with getting the pad on the screen, pressing 1, 2, 3, enter, 0, enter, trying to get the bloody thing to start. I did manage to get the car to move, but I couldn't turn. There was no physical way for me to turn that car. I was pressing up, down, I was doing all of these, and I couldn't do it. So I see someone there in the chat has said you need to use controller 2 to play it. So basically you're saying it's useless on this, which it doesn't say in here, which again is quite disappointing. So yeah, let me just go through. Motocross, rubbish, just bounces around all over the place, can't control the bike, it's just too fast. Stadium mug buggies, rubbish, can't control the cars. I didn't have a clue what I was doing on that, whether I was racing, destruction derby, I don't know. Snap sharp shot, don't even know if I played that, to be honest. I must have done, but it must have been one of those I couldn't start, couldn't figure out what I was doing. Reversey, I don't even think I knew what I was doing on that. Couldn't get it going. Super Pro Decathlon. I will say the opening of that's quite nice. It was quite nice music. Bit of the made me feel like I was at the Olympics in the 80s briefly. And then I started doing this 100-meter sprint, which you'll see the guy doing here. I didn't know how I was supposed to move. The manual on the cartridge isn't very helpful. So yeah, didn't enjoy that one. Won't go back to it. Mountain, what's it called? Mountain Madness. I should have my glass on. Mountain Madness Super Pro Skiing. I just want to play to you the noise this game makes. So let me know if you can hear this. You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
That is the noise of the game. Just horrible game. And again, really hard to control. Doesn't work with the Evercade at all. So yeah, not one for me. Were there any positives on here? I did. Star Strike, I didn't mind once I figured out how to get going. And Hover Force, is it? Hoover Force? Didn't mind that. That wasn't too bad, but again, wouldn't play again. Cloudy Mountain and Tower of Doom, everyone told me, yeah, they're really good. You'll enjoy them. I think I might revisit them. Tower of Doom wasn't too bad, actually. I did manage to kill like a snake on it, so I was obviously doing something right on that. Cloudy Mountain, I need to have more of a read of the instruction manual, to be honest, and figure out what I'm doing on it. But I have to say, this is by far the worst cartridge on the Evercade for me. And I was quite right in my justification of never wanting to buy it. And the fact that Nick brought it for me as a present, I will forever treasure it. So I won't ever sell it. But yeah, it's not for me. And would I recommend it to anyone? No. Would I recommend it to anyone who likes Intellivision? No, because the controllers, well, I couldn't really get them working. So yeah, I don't know if the top hat wants to add anything, maybe try and balance it out, put a positive spin on it. But yeah, not for me. Not for me. Awful.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these games, it can take a little bit of to get to grips with some of the controls, and especially with ones where you have to switch to other joypads, you press like R1 or L1 to switch over to that. So that perhaps that needed to be made just a little bit more obvious. Two I do actually enjoy are, of course, Tower of Doom and Cloudy Mountain. I really found myself getting into those. But then I quite enjoy dungeon crawlers, as I've said before, with Rogue 64 that came recently. And there's a lot of things to sort of take in. You have to find a boat on like Cloudy Mountain to get across the rivers and things like that. And once you really sort of get involved in it, yeah, there's a great bit of fun to be had on those two. So yeah, they're in themselves. I mean, that would have done for a dual cart for me, and perhaps leave off the others. But yeah, those two are excellent from my point of view, because dungeon crawlers are my thing. But yeah, if they're not, then obviously, yeah, I can appreciate that a lot of people aren't too keen. I do know quite a few people that enjoy Reversey. It's not a game I'm particularly into myself, but yeah, I do know there's quite a good following for that on Evercade, and yeah, people do enjoy playing that one. So yeah, big shout out to that game, because I know it's a popular one for people.
Interesting. It's yeah, it's a system that I don't have nostalgia for. I don't think I've actually played the Intellivision 2 cartridge. Or
you can do. I can bring it into work on Wednesday, and you can have a full go and give us a review in 2 weeks.
I'll tell you what.
Take it home with you if you want.
I'll tell you what. Why not? Why not? Let's do it. Let me have a bash on Intellivision 2 and see if there's something on there that I can come back with and sort of rebut a little bit the negativity on it, because I kind of remember the Intellivision 1 cart being good fun. We played that at your house, didn't we, for Christmas a couple of Christmases ago, and we had a lot of fun on that. I really ruined Dorbs's Astro Smash score by just being terrible at the game. He was doing really good.
Those games
Princess Quest is brilliant.
It's like they put all the best games of Intellivision on cartridge 1, and then we just got dregs on this one. and I don't know who on earth signed off on this. And to still charge $17.99 for it. Sorry, Nick, I know you paid $17.99, and I am forever grateful for you
Just
purchasing it
constantly
for
forever
me.
saying that.
Yeah, I am. I really am. And what I will say is, it does look really nice on my shelf with that number. I've not filling it. I've not got a gap anymore, and I do like the cover art. I think the cover art's nice. So it's not all negative. I do like the cover art.
You just don't like the games.
I like the games, but I like the cover art.
The thing we buy the Evercade for, and you're not keen on the games.
Oh God! If we get another Intellivision cart, that's me done. I'm not buying another cartridge. if we get any more, or a Intellivision Super Pocket, I can see that coming as well.
Well, that'd be all right.
No, it's got to happen.
With all these games on it, for those who just want it in their pocket.
Not all of them. No, that'd be too good a value. But yeah, we can do about 6 of them.
Take off Cloudy Mountain and Tower of Doom and put on something other. I've tickled myself there. I can't. Let's move on. I've got nothing else to say about it. Just awful.
Well, there we go. We all waited with bated breath, and Ryan delivered on the review there that we all thought was going to be completely negative, but in fact he likes the artwork. So it's all swings and roundabouts. But thank you, Ryan.
Whoever designed that, give yourself a pat on the back, because that artwork's quite cool. I like it.
Beautiful. So that's going to segue us nicely into our next topic, which is the current game of the month. So if you have an Evercade VS or an Evercade EXP, you can update your system every month and get a free game for the month, which will feature on Indie Heroes Collection 3 at some point next year. So the game this month is Bone Marrow. Now, it won't surprise you that I have yet to play Bone Marrow. One of the reasons, though, I will stipulate is there was something to do with updating your system can affect certain cartridges. So we can come to that later, because I know someone has said that. So I have not updated anything, but have either of you two updated and played Bone Marrow?
I'll just interject now. Sorry, I haven't played it yet because I was having so much fun with Intellivision 2. I never got a time to download it or update my VS. So apologies, everyone. I haven't played it yet, but I'm sure Derek has and will be able to give us a full review.
Yep, I have indeed. Yeah, I've given this game a thoroughly good blasting. If you're wondering what type of game it is, it's got quite a long sort of title. It's a role-playing board logic puzzle game. So, to sort of put it into context, as you can see there on the screen, you're on the board, and there's a funny scarecrow-looking fellow. That's the enemy. And there you are, partly leveled up during the level. Now you can go through several stages of leveling up your opponents. Now I'll just go through some of the objects on the screen there. If you match up 2 swords, for instance, they have to be the same type of sword. That will give you more strikes. Now obviously if you match 2 shields, that will give you more defense. Now things like apples and rum, there's no point matching those unless, of course, you've taken damage, and then obviously it'll put that back up. There's 3 characters to choose from at the beginning, and they're all selectable. I will just say, if you are playing this on any other platform, such as Steam, for instance, you have to actually complete the game once to unlock one of those characters, but they appear completely unlocked on this version anyway. But whether that'll be the case with Indie Heroes Collection 3, I don't know. You've got to go through 4 locations, eventually arriving at the palace. Basically, you have to keep matching and keep gaining experience. And when you hit level 6 on each stage, you'll get a boss battle. So you'll get a much stronger enemy. And for that, hopefully, you've done enough matching and enough building of your shields and your strikes so that... I mean, sometimes I've even leveled up and I've got a little crown on and I've become like a king knight, and I'm ready to do battle. And I think it was the 3rd boss that I completely turned to ashes in about 30 seconds because I was so powerful when he arrived. So that was pretty good fun. Overall, the game is pretty short, depending on whether you're into this type of strategy game or not. But for those that don't know, I do know PSCD games very, very well. We first became friends with bringing Foxyland, of course, to Indie Heroes Collection 1. And then obviously later Thunderpool and this one. Now, if you are into this type of game and you do want even more of this this type of thing, I can exclusively reveal tonight that they are making a sequel called Bone Marrow Reborn. Now, what would that offer against this? Just to quickly cover that. Basically, it's got several times more content. It's got several times more levels to explore. It's got character upgrades and also the different classes of fighter. Whereas at the moment, with the 3 you select at the beginning, no matter who you select, it won't give you a different ending, for instance. And also your stats won't be any different. Which would have been a nice touch, but obviously the sequel hopefully will put that right. So if in the comment section that's something you'd like to see on a future cart, let us know in the comment section, and when I speak to PSCD Games in the very near future, I'll let them know.
Excellent. I mean, it ticks a lot of boxes, that game. It's got that sort of Dungeons and Dragons element vibe about it. I know Tim in the chat said that looks like it's actually his kind of game. Who doesn't love an RPG apart from Dorbs? I know Dorbs isn't massive into RPGs, but I do like an RPG, and I do like a puzzle game. So, you know, throwing all of these together into, you know, what looks like a board game as well, I mean, that's really quite ingenious. I like the look of that a lot. Definitely. Are they working on the sequel now, or is that something?
They are.
That is...
Yeah. Yeah. It's, you know, it's soon be ready to go. Yeah. Fantastic news.
When did they release this one originally?
The first time I saw it was a couple of years ago now.
Okay.
For the Mega Drive. So yeah, as I say, I think it's been out a little while now. So
yeah, excellent. I mean, it looks different, and I like different. I know we always say with the indie stuff, this is really what for me the Evercade is for. So to be able to see games like this coming out, something a little bit unique, a little bit different, yeah, color me interested. I think I need to play this game. It looks a lot of fun. Absolutely fantastic. Okie dokie. So we're going to move on to a topic which obviously a few people are going to be a bit miffed about. It's one of those things, but we like to talk about everything on this podcast. So let's dive into it. That is more delays. So there's a couple of delays that have started to come through. Mr. Ryan or Mr. Derek, can either of you give us the lowdown on how many there are and which ones there are? We can sort of break each one down and see where we're all at.
Well, basically, the next 4 cartridges. So Sunsoft and
Delphine.
Yeah, Delphine Software are now scheduled for the 6th of October.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, not too much longer to wait. It was only for the end of the month, and then obviously you've got Home Computer Heroes at the end of that October. It was supposed to have been with Full Void, and that'll now be the 14th of November. So yeah, a little bit longer to wait for those, unfortunately.
Okay, but that's not what I would maybe call like a mega delay. That's we're not talking months. We're talking a couple of weeks at most, right?
Oh yeah. Should be a couple of weeks at most.
Have they said what the delays are for these carts specifically?
I guess that. Oh no, go on, Derek. Sorry.
No, that's right. Yeah, I would imagine it's manufacturer end.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it's just one of those things, I suppose, in modern era.
Okay. Yeah, so Brian, you were going to die on that.
Yeah, I guess my concern is, will these delays cause Duke Nukem to be delayed and the Evercade VS Atomic Edition to be delayed? Is it going to have a knock-on effect? Because otherwise you're going to have a lot of stuff coming out all at the same time. I don't know. Is there going to be a knock-on effect? Are people's VSs going to be delayed till after Christmas? Which I really hope they're not. And I'm only speculating. I'm sure they won't be. But yeah, will these delays have? Because obviously the Delphi and the Sunsoft delays have had a knock-on effect of the next two cartridges. So you would hazard a guess that that's going to have an effect on the Duke Nukem and those Evercade VS Atomics, and then obviously the Super Pockets are due out. They're due out at the end of October, aren't they?
Yeah,
So
end
it's
of
only
October. Yeah.
7 weeks away. I haven't seen one with a YouTuber yet and reviewing it. I've not actually seen a photo of one apart from on the video that when they announced it. I've not seen anything of the Super Pocket. Apart from like the promo pictures, I guess, as well. But yeah, there's not been any hands-on videos of that or anything. So yeah, is it concerning, or shall we just let Evercade do their thing and everything will come together? I don't know.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because if delays generally only make something better. They never delay something because they just want to annoy people, or this could be for any company. I don't know any company that wants to delay anything. You normally want your product out on time because then people can play it, people can get excited about it. I guess it just depends what the delays are for. If the delays are like you say, Derek, some manufacturing or some production line issue, that's out of their hands. I mean, in all honesty, most of the stuff can be out of people's hands. You never really know what's going to happen when it comes to things like technology. And I guess small independent companies, especially, it gets even harder. If you look at giants like Apple or Microsoft or something, then by and large they've got a product ready to go by the time they announce it. So any delay that happens is normally pretty mega. But I appreciate there was a comment there that just said that it disappoints people because there will be people that are genuinely, really looking forward to it. But I guess if it's only by a couple of weeks at the most, that's not long to wait. And I think everyone can always wait a couple of weeks. It's not as if we don't have enough games to keep us going between now and a couple of weeks' time. Yes, it's massively irritating. But hopefully it's not going to sour anyone's experience or anything like that.
I guess the thing that always, I guess, would frustrate people is those who've ordered from Funstock where they take the money immediately, and then you'll get delay after delay after delay potentially when they've been sat on your money for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. So I get, if you've paid up front, you're going to be frustrated, and in a way you're going to be concerned, is that product ever going to turn up? And I know like Blaze have got a history of delivering things, so it's not going to be a problem. But I can see people, if that Atomic VS gets delayed to after Christmas, people are going to be onto Funstock desperate to get a Christmas present for someone, and they're going to be asking for that money back, and then Evercade are going to be stuck with a load of Atomic VSs that they're going to have to try and shift in the new year, as well as Super Pockets and various other things. So yeah, the fingers crossed that hopefully these delays aren't anything too long and everyone gets what they want before Christmas, because nobody wants to be sat there Christmas Day without the present that they were expecting.
Yeah, I mean, there's an interesting comment here from Taxophile. Was it say there? Yeah, wondered if they're trying to ensure Amiga games work out the box, especially after the Team 17 issues. Are all of the ports on the Amiga 2 collection Amiga ports, or are they?
No. Flashback's obviously Mega Drive, obviously Another World, and the others are Amiga.
Yep. So that could very well be it. Then, so I know a few people have said that the Team 17 cart had a few issues, so it could be that that they've kind of maybe pulled that back a bit just to maybe keep it running. Yeah, I mean, that is also a very good point. At least admit they're running a bit late, unlike limited run. So, I mean, we can definitely sort of touch on that because it's a very good comparison. Actually, that's a really good point. And I know a friend of the channel, Gemma from Gebs24 has also done a topic about this because she gets frustrated with it. We all get frustrated with it. Anyone that actively puts a pre-order in for anything that pays up front, and limited run do that. You pay up front, and then they're very open and they say you're not going to see your product for at least 3 to 4 months, possibly 5 months after you've paid for it, because they need to enter manufacturing, and they do their pre-order window to basically see how many they need to make.
So
And
it's
that's fine.
crowdfunding, isn't it? It's
Well,
crowdfunding, but hiding it behind pre-orders.
it's
It
difficult.
is, isn't it?
Because I think with limited run, their product always sells out. There's no worry about any of it. Every single one of their limited ones sell out because they are limited to X number. It used to be they'd limit them to like 1,000, so everyone would buy them, they'd disappear, and then they fetch a huge profit on the aftermarket. Whereas now what they do is they say the pre-order window is, say, 1st of August to the 5th of September. After that, it's never going to get reprinted. But during that period, it tells them exactly how many they need to make. But on top of that, aside from all the standard editions, I don't really get many of the mega editions from them because they're really expensive. The standard editions normally come quite quickly. So within 5 to 6 months of your pre-order, they normally arrive on your doorstep. The big box sets, the ones that have got all the extras, the figures and all these other things, they can take years, like literally years, to turn up on your doorstep. I know the Streets of Rage 4 version, I think, I literally started landing on people's doorsteps a couple of months ago, and my copy of Streets of Rage 4, my regular copy, turned up, I want to say 18 months ago. And then that doesn't include also the 6 months pre-order that you tacked on at that point. So yeah, I think that's a really good point. Blaze kind of saying, yeah, all right, there's going to be a delay of 2 weeks. Just bear with us. Is a fairly good shout, as opposed to just kind of not saying anything and then basically everyone getting an email the day of release saying, "Oh, don't worry, it's coming now. Sorry about that. There was a bit of an issue." They do at least come forward and they do hold their hands up straight away, I guess, and sort of say, "Look, there's going to be a problem. Just bear with us for a couple of weeks." But I do agree with you, Ryan, as well. It doesn't help when you pump that money up front. I know £17 is £17, but that's half a tank of petrol, and if you need to get to work, that's, we're living in those times where, people are kind of living paycheck to paycheck at the moment. So, but hopefully it's not going to be too much of a problem. Hopefully the delays on these newer carts will just be a couple of weeks, bit of manufacturing, and they'll be in everyone's hands before they even realize those 2 weeks are gone. So let's hope that that's what it is. Did we mention that there was going to be a delay to the Duke Nukem announcement? I know we touched on it earlier. Derek, I don't know if you've got a little bit more info you can fill us in with there.
Yeah, basically, instead of tomorrow, you're going to get your Duke Nukem announcement towards the end of this month. I will just say for people that are pre-ordering tomorrow, there is something extremely special about Duke Nukem 3D. So you are definitely going to want that collection if you're a Duke fan. This isn't tin pot rubbish on there. This is really good stuff. So yeah, when it gets a reveal, I think you're going to be very, very happy. So fingers crossed, it's not too long. You'll have to wait.
Man, what does that mean? What does it mean? So is there something in the game? Is there something that comes in the box?
The version.
Ooh, color me interested. So is this going to be different to the other ports that are still doing the rounds at the moment?
Well,
don't raise your eyebrow at me, Derek. Don't raise your eyebrow at me. That ever teasing eyebrow. Good grief. Okay, so I think most people were probably going to be pre-ordering Duke Nukem, but that's almost going to be a must now, I think, isn't it? You are going to need to pre-order Duke Nukem, or at least the Duke Nukem 3D collection for sure. Do both the Duke Nukem carts go up for pre-order tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh dear.
Do we expect to see limited edition versions of the boxes like Full Void, or is that something you can't say?
No, I can't really say, but yeah, there will be something noticeably different about both of them.
Oh, God
Just
damn it. God damn it. Because do you know what? And I get FOMO with these things sometimes. Every now and then I sort of sleep on something that I'm unsure on, and then I regret it. Really, what I should do is just always throw in a pre-order and then cancel it if I'm not interested. So you mentioned Full Void there, Ryan, with that packaging. I slept on it, and I kind of thought, do I, don't I? I'm not really sure. And now it's gone. You're like, maybe I did. So I think tomorrow will be a pre-order for both versions of Duke Nukem for certain, and see where that takes us. I mean, it's Duke Nukem. It's going to be one of the carts that I pick up anyway. That especially 3D. Duke Nukem 3D holds a very, very special place in my heart. I think most of us remember playing it either on PS1 or PC if we were lucky enough, and just the absolute riot that is Duke Nukem 3D. So, tantalizing. Oh, I like this comment here. Does it come with a free stick of bubblegum? I mean, that is a marketing genius, Mr. Shadow Gaming. And if Blaze haven't thought of that yet, can you please make sure that the initial pressings of this come with a free stick of bubblegum? Please, come on. That's genius. I think they should pay you for that, Shadow, if I'm honest. That's absolutely superb. Excellent. Yeah, I think people are now thinking there's going to be a Duke Nukem collector's version of some sort. Let the internet run wild with all sorts of, yeah, exactly, Mr. Goldtooth. We need you to sing that for me. That's the first thing that came into my head there was Shaka. Is it Shakademus and Pliers that did that? Oh dear.
Maybe we could get Goldtooth to record something, and every time Derek gives us a little teaser, we could just play that over.
Oh, please, Goldtooth, would you do that for us? That would be unreal. Absolutely unreal. That would be so good.
That'd be great.
Excellent. I'm all into that. Okay. Are there any
just before we move on, is this going to be available on Amazon, Argos, Game, GameStop in America, all the usual?
Yeah,
places
standard as far as I'm aware. Yeah, I've not had any suggestion it wouldn't be. So yeah, it should just be across the board as usual.
Excellent.
We shall do that then. Keep our eyes peeled tomorrow. Don't sleep on the Duke Nukem pre-order. Okie dokie. So the next topic also is slightly off-brand, but again, something that I think a few people have asked us to talk about and address. And that is that there are a couple more carts that seem to be failing. Are there specific carts that appear to be failing, or is it just sort of random at the moment?
Well, from what I see in the Evercade Hangout Facebook group, give that a little plug there. Feel free to come and join us. Fastest growing Evercade group on Facebook, may I add. What I've seen is people are having carts that are beginning to fail, and because they're over a year, I want to say that the Blaze warranty is 2 years. If they're over 2 years old, Blaze aren't replacing them, which they're within their right to do under the consumer law or whatever it is. But these carts shouldn't be failing after 2 years. And this comment on the Evercade Hangout really concerned me. Someone, I won't name them, they said they had an issue with 3 games won't work any longer on a cart from IVS. And so I've said, it's disappointing to hear. Did Evercade tell you, what did Evercade tell you? And he's said, and I can only say this is what he's told me. I don't know for 100% fact if this is what Evercade have actually sent him. So I'll just put that disclaimer out there. But he said that the reply he got from Evercade was, the issue with the Mega Cat 2 cart is that those specific games, which does not load for you, they require an update, and rarely, but it happens that this update is applied incorrectly. Therefore, the files are becoming corrupted, making the games not load anymore. This can only be fixed by replacing the cart. that's really concerning. That if that is genuine, and Blaze or Evercade have gone back to him and said that their update is causing a cartridge to corrupt, that's really unfair on individuals that's happening to. And that's why I wanted to cover this topic tonight, because updates shouldn't be breaking people's cartridges if that's the case, and it's really disappointing. And I'm with you earlier, Ollie, and I didn't touch on it because I didn't want to mention it then, but I've not downloaded the new game of the month because I don't want to cause any more issues to any of my cartridges, because everyone knows my Pico 1's dead. So yeah, I don't want any more issues with it. And I know Blaze are excellent at replacing anything up to that 2-year point. No questions asked, as long as you brought it from a legitimate retailer like Amazon, Game, Argos, Funstock. They're really helpful, and they'll replace it. Just send them a couple of videos or pictures. But it's just disappointing after that 2 years if people are updating an Evercade system and then that cartridge stops working as soon as they've done that update. Then is that the fault of the customer? I don't think it is.
No. Like you say, it's a really difficult one, isn't it? Because you can't indefinitely say a product is going to be looked after. You know, you get it with a car, don't you? You normally get 3 years warranty on a brand new car, a year's warranty on a second-hand car. You can take out extended warranty if you want to. You know, everything has a warranty life. You know, I don't want to say a shelf life, because, you know, I've got NES games that still work, but everything has a sort of lifespan. And if Blaze are going to sort of continue maybe with the Evercade brand and the Evercade as a product, maybe seeing how some of the carts are running now, maybe that could give them an idea as to how they could maybe rectify it in the future. You know, I don't know anything about the production line of any of these things, how easy they are to make, how hard they are to make, how they go on the systems, how they go on the cart. I got no idea, because my technical knowledge on this sort of stuff is pretty zero. But if there are things that are starting to show signs of wear and tear, that could be a good flag to kind of think, right, from mid 24, all the carts are now going to get made using a different process, or there's a new chip or a new way that they're installed on the carts themselves. Like I say, I have no idea. I don't claim to know anything about how this kind of thing works. But if it is becoming a big problem, and it is going to start affecting people's carts throughout, you know, without their wanting to, just purely because they want to have the most up-to-date software or firmware on their consoles, then yeah, maybe it could be time to start thinking about the future. How are you going to maybe try and prevent this from happening on some of your future carts? Because it is concerning. You know, I do agree, it is concerning, especially if it's a known problem. Yeah, we'll have to sort of see how that one goes. Maybe we'll reach out to the person that made that comment and kind of see how things kind of progress, and just sort of see what's what. That's quite sad. I'm a little bit sad for that person. Because yeah, I think if there's a specific cart maybe that they know is going to have a problem with an update, maybe then it's like, if it's outside of the warranty and someone says, look, I've done the update, my cart's no longer working, maybe that could be a replacement cart that they do maybe as like a gesture, you know, like a one-off gesture for this specific cart. If it doesn't work, send us a video like they always do, and we'll see what we can sort for you. Because that's the one thing I've never been able to fault them on, is their customer service. The customer service has always been very, very good. They always do their absolute best to appease people and to make the best of bad situations if they arise. So, you know, I could never fault Blaze or Evercade for their customer service. They're always pretty top tier, if I'm honest. So yeah, hopefully that will continue, and they'll be able to, I don't know, maybe address these issues moving forward. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else has anything else on that at all. I don't know.
No, I mean, it's a good idea. You know, they do need to review the product, especially if they aim for it to be around for another 2 or 3 years. to put a bit more thought into those cartridges would be just to future-proof them, really, and make sure people, as you say, can have them for extended periods of time. That would definitely be a good idea. I know with the original handheld, if you update on the PC, it does say it's a disclaimer, and if it goes wrong, it's your fault, if I remember rightly. I haven't updated an original for some time, but with the EXP, obviously, I don't think there's any such disclaimer. You just kind of enter like you do with the Versus, and it updates. So maybe if people have got the Versus and the EXP, then perhaps all the original, perhaps only update, say, the Versus each time, and if anything needs to go into the cartridges in the future, you can put it in through that way rather than affecting your handheld, maybe, just for the time being.
Yeah.
It would be,
go on,
I was
Ryan.
just going to say, it'd be good if your VS could reflash the cartridge somehow.
Yeah.
I don't think it's got that. I don't know. I don't even know how something like that would work. Whether the VS, I guess the VS has got some kind of technology because it updated the game on Megacats 2, didn't it? From a demo to the full game of Ronius Tale, was it? So it's obviously it's able to do something. So to change that game, and I don't know how it even goes about doing that. So yeah, surely there must be a way that they can fix these cartridges for people. And as I say, with that message that was on the Evercade Hangout, with anything, I don't know 100% whether that's come from Blaze or not. He's just shared it in the group, and he's saying that it is. But yeah, if that is the response that he did get, then yeah, that's very disappointing.
Watch this space. That can be something we maybe come back to in a couple of months and see where we're at. Yeah, disappointing. We'll see how that runs. See how it runs. Okie dokie. So we have reached the point of the show where we can answer any questions that have been asked of the panel, or specifically to Mr. Derek and dear Derek. We've got quite a few all starred up here. So let's go to the very first one, which is from good friend and long-time viewer, Mr. Nicholas Skipkins, and that is anyone going to WASD versus IGN in London later this week? I wish I was. I really do, because there's so many events that I've kind of forgotten happening this year, this being one of them. It would have been great to go to, predominantly, like I said, because Mag, Middle-Aged Gamer Guy, is going to be there. I really like Mag a lot. And it would have been a great excuse just to hang out with him, to be honest. So yeah, I don't know if either of you two. Well, I don't think, Ryan, I don't think you're going up, are you?
No, I won't be. But again, I would have liked to have met Sean from Blaze.
Yeah,
he's top bloke. Would have liked to have had a chat with him. So yeah, disappointing. But again, I wasn't aware that it was happening, to be honest.
Yeah, it's kind of snuck up on us. Mr. Derek, are you heading to WASD?
I did contemplate it, actually, but unfortunately, I've got some prior commitments, so I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. But it's certainly going to be a good event. So anybody that does want to get down there, it'll certainly be worth your time.
For sure. I think next year I'm just going to have to outline everything con-wise, and have a really hard sit down with the missus and be like, right, so these are all the things I want to do. These are the weekends I'm ditching you. How can I make this up to you? And then I can go to everything. Okay, so next one is from Mr. Pete Snestastic. Do the panel have any Evercade predictions for 2024? We've sort of done a little bit of this kind of thing in the past, but I don't know if anybody else has any extra predictions they could make. With Derek, it's always very difficult because I feel like he's in the know. He sort of has these little ways about him where he kind of says something and you're like, oh my God. So I don't know. I know we've signed and said we don't want any more hardware next year. But I think we've said it before. I'd quite fancy an arcade stick. An official Evercade arcade stick would be pretty cool. Is that a prediction? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen next year. I know Sean sort of lightly touched on the idea that it's something he's pretty keen for as well. What do you think, Ryan? Have you got any predictions for Evercade in 2024?
I think that we'll get a new wrestling game next year. Sean's a big wrestling fan, and I strongly believe that he will give us a decent wrestling game in 2024. And I also imagine that we'll probably get another Pico collection, another Mega Cats collection, another Intellivision collection, another Atari collection. I don't know. But yeah, I think we'll definitely get a wrestling game next year. Definitely.
Okay. Derek, have you got any predictions for what you would like to see next year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously an arcade stick would be ideal for the versus console. So yeah, that would definitely be something I'd be interested in. I would imagine very shortly Blaze will be signing off on the cartridges for next year. If I could say anything, I would say I think Capcom might play a little window in next year at some point. But yeah, we just have to wait and see.
Derek, how can you do this to us all the time? Oh, see, this is where we need that Goldtooth tease me video to plonk in. Just in
We
there.
need it. We 100% need that for the next stream
Yeah.
in 2 weeks.
He has said that he's up for it, so I'll Goldtooth, I will be reaching out. Okay, okie dokie. So next question. Oh, this is a great question, and I have to admit, until it was said, I didn't notice it. And this for me would probably be the compliment of my life. So, dear Derek, what is it like looking like Kratos from God of War? And now that it's been said, I can kind of see it.
I can. And you and Goldtooth look very familiar. There could be a family resemblance there.
That's that is a compliment. I mean, at some point, maybe if we get to doing a Halloween version of this, can you cosplay it as Kratos?
Yeah, there you go.
Do the makeup.
Yeah,
I'm
that's it.
all into
Yeah,
that.
do the makeup, and yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Fantastic. Love it. Next one from Crazy Burger, specifically to Ryan. We've got a Dear Ryan. Dear Ryan, where's your beard?
I can't grow a beard. I just get like bum fluff. Gush of wind will blow this away. So yeah, I can't grow a beard.
Next one from Crazy Burger, also for Ryan as well. This one a bit more serious. What is the best game on Intellivision Collection 2?
Oh, that's such a tough question. It's probably, is it Dungeon? What's it called? Dungeon Master? Dungeon?
No, it's called Tower of Doom.
Tower of, God, I'm way off. Tower of Doom, I would say, is the best game on there. And I probably will go back to it. I'll give it another little go. But yeah, it's yeah, and that's real clutching at straws.
Question. Next one from Goldtooth again to Derek. This one, I'm kind of into. I have to admit, I'm kind of into this. Dear Derek, what do you think of an Evercade arcade like the arcade one-ups but sexier?
Yeah, I mean, that could be perhaps a little task for somebody like Hyper Megatech to sort of bring us an arcade unit. I will just say that at the moment, Hyper Megatech have no plans for any future devices to feature Evercade cartridges other than the Super Pocket range. So yeah, that might be a little unrealistic. Perhaps Blaze themselves, though, could bring it out under the Evercade license, and I think that would be brilliant, incorporating the arcade stick, and obviously be able to have multiplayer then, wouldn't you? So yeah, definitely, I'd be up for that, certainly.
Yeah.
Going back to Hyper Megatech Super Pocket, I think they've made a mistake having the Evercade cartridge slot on there, because I think down the line that's going to cause them problems with games potentially not working, not loading, not being able to run properly, people having to update. I think they would have been better off just doing it as a closed unit and charging £30 for people to buy it. And I still think they would have sold exactly as many as what they've sold now. I'm going to make that wild statement, but yeah, there we go. And £30 a pop, people would have took a punt on them rather than $49.99.
Interesting. Like it. Controversial opinions. That's what we're all about. Question to the panel. Have the panel ordered Full Void? Did you pick up the collector's edition? I did, to start a single game cart collection in the future. So I said earlier that I now have FOMO because I didn't get the collector's version. I would like the collector's version, so I'll just keep my eyes on that going into stock somewhere at some point. I probably won't pay the aftermarket for it because I think it probably will have a little pricey price tag attached to it. So I will just get the standard version because I do like the look of this game quite a bit. So, Mr. Derek, did you pull the trigger on a Full Void Collector's Edition?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I shall have the Full Void Collector's Edition here on the show when it launches on the 14th of November. So not long to wait. I will just say for anybody in the comments section that's perhaps got Xbox or Switch, it comes out Full Void tomorrow digitally on those platforms. So obviously it's out on Steam already. So a little plug there for anybody who wants to get an advanced peek at the game. That's certainly one way to do it.
Exciting.
And
And
it's also
Ryan,
on Steam as well. I have
Yes.
contemplated ordering it on my Steam Deck, but I have ordered the limited collector's edition, so I have got that coming as well. Only because it was available on Amazon, so I didn't have to pay up front, which I'm not a fan of doing. So yeah, I have taken the plunge on it. And if you're a fan of Full Void, or you're really looking forward to that cartridge, then keep an eye on our page over the next or on our channel even over the next few weeks, because we may have something very special for you coming up.
Oh yes, and that's something that I can.
I've done a Derek tease.
And do you know what? I can even raise my eyebrow because I know what this is. So I'm just gonna just give it a little cheeky eyebrow raise there. So yes, that is yeah. Oop, can't wait for that, Ryan. Excellent stuff. Next question from Mr. Skipkins: are the Super Pockets delayed, and will they be playable at WASD? I have absolutely no idea. Derek, do you have any idea if the Super Pockets are delayed, and are they at WASD?
They are at WASD, I gather. So yeah, there will be a chance to get hands-on with them there. As for the delays, nothing at present. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they're still on for the end of October. But I'm sure in coming weeks we will find out.
Okay, Mr. Skipkins, are you headed to WASD? If so, and you head to the Evercade stand, do take some pics of everything there. And also, if you do get to have a bit of a hands-on with the Super Pocket, maybe you can give us some words and your opinion so that we can talk about it on the next Total Evercade podcast. That would be really interesting to hear from someone who's actually had hands-on and can actually talk about the unit. So yeah, please do, mate. If you're headed there, let us know. Be great to get a little exclusive review from you. That'd be great. Okay, next question from Pete. Again, question to the panel: have we pulled the trigger on the Hyper Megatech Super Pocket? I personally haven't. Again, that's not because I don't think it's got a place. It's more I just don't know what it's like. So I would like to have a little hands-on play with it, much like I did the Evercade, really, to be fair, at first, to see how it's going to fit into my gaming life. Let's start with Ryan. Have you pulled the trigger on a Hyper Megatech Super Pocket?
No, I haven't. I don't think I'll play it, to be honest. £50 for another handheld. No, I haven't. I've got one of those. For my birthday, I got one of those like mini Street Fighter arcade cabinets, which is quite cool. I've been playing that quite a bit lately. So that's filled my Capcom void. That's the only game that I would really want to play on the Super Pocket. The other games don't particularly interest me. Final Fight, maybe. I think that's on there, isn't it? Is it not Fight? Is it Final Fight? Or no? Yeah, it is Final Fight, isn't it? Yeah. So no, I wouldn't get any play out of it. I think I've got that little Street Fighter arcade thing, and that's filled my Capcom void.
Mr. Derek, have you pulled the trigger on a Super Pocket?
No, not presently. At the moment, as I say, I've got the EXP, which has all the built-in Capcom games, so that's sorted that. And perhaps in the future they can sort something out with Taito. But at the moment, as I say, I've just got so many different consoles with the Versus and the EXP and the original, I'm not sure I'd really make use of it. If I was doing a lot of commuting, things like that, it'd be ideal to stick in my pocket, take one cartridge a day and get involved. But yeah, I'm not really sure how it fits into my life right now. So yeah, at the moment, yeah, I haven't pressed a button.
No. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I still want an EXP, and I'm kind of holding out for that deal on Funstock to come back in. The one that's got a lot of carts that I don't have, and that's a cracking deal. But it's not in stock again. It's still not in stock. I need that to come back into stock so I can jump on that.
Well, you can pre-order a Super Pocket limited edition bundle, £120. Then you can have Super Pockets 1 and 2 and start your collection.
I really want the EXP with the carts that I don't have. That's what I really want. Next question. We've only got 3 left. So next question is from Mr. Arnold. Is the delay due to Blaze spreading themselves too thin with Hyper Megatech? I don't think so. And I would say I don't think so, purely because I know that Hyper Megatech, albeit is under the Blaze brand, it is a separate team. So I don't think there's people from Blaze who are currently working on Evercade who are now working on Hyper Megatech. As far as I'm aware, I think it's two different teams. I could be completely wrong in that statement, but I'm pretty sure that that's what it is. So therefore, I don't necessarily think it is. I think the delays are just life. It's that old age old. They're a small company, but they are. It's an independent company, and I think possibly just delays are a part and parcel of the gig. Unfortunately, at the moment, I don't know if anyone has any other thoughts on that, or if anyone knows any different.
Sean's obviously marketing both Hyper Megatech and Evercade. So across both those platforms, they did double, of course, the workforce not too long ago. So yeah, I like to think half of those went towards Hyper Megatech. So yeah, hopefully it's just simply delays in manufacturing.
Ryan, anything you want to add on to that one?
I don't know, to be honest. I'd just be purely speculating. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sure they're all working equally as hard on all the products to get them to us.
Agreed. One here from Lammy Pie Duke Nukem. One to get day one me. Yes, it is one to get day one because I slept on Full Void. And so, yes, I won't be sleeping on Duke Nukem tomorrow. I will be jumping on that.
I hope you won't be sleeping with Duke Nukem, otherwise your wife won't be very happy.
I don't know.
I know Simon Miller did a good cosplay, and I know he does spend a lot of time down our way. But
would she be more annoyed if I slept with Duke Nukem over somebody else? I don't know. We'll have to. I'll ask her later and see what she thinks, and I'll let you all know next Total Evercade. But yeah, I won't be missing out on that one. I will be jumping on that straight away. So the last one is from Mr. Nick Craddock, Nick C, and I think he's reading between lines here. but I did star this anyway because I thought it was I thought it was great.
Trying to catch Derek out, you'll never catch him out. Ever.
You won't. You got to get up. Well, you won't be able to get up early enough to catch Derek out, I'm afraid. But his one is, dear Derek, is the Duke Nukem Special Edition exclusive to Funstock, or can we order from elsewhere?
Well, we're not sure there will be one yet. That's the thing. If you think about the Xbox 360, didn't they have a Duke Nukem Forever with a Duke bust in it? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's ever seen that one. Yeah, I mean, that would be really funky, and I'd love that sort of thing. But I don't think we're gonna, unfortunately, be able to have anything quite that fancy. But yeah, just regular pre-orders tomorrow, I would imagine. But yeah, you never really know what they've got up their sleeve. So yeah, you might want to have those bank cards ready.
Yep. And just because it's there and it's just tail end of it, we'll chuck it up there now really quick. There seems to be a new retro system every week these days. Are we hitting critical mass? We could be. I think people will continue to make these things as long as people keep continuing to buy them. the mini consoles are kind of like their own thing. They just sort of don't feature into the, I guess, the mass physical media market, whereas at least with Evercade, there's new games coming out for these systems quite regularly. So it's, you've got your Evercade and then you kind of add the games, as opposed to there being like a new retro system. I know there's a lot of handhelds out there, the sort of Android handhelds. They come out every 5 seconds, but again, they're ROMs as opposed to officially licensed stuff. So I don't know. Ryan, what do you think? Are we hitting critical mass on new systems?
I personally think there's way too many coming out at the moment, but people keep buying them, don't they? So, you know, people are going to keep bringing them out. I am listening to you. I just want to show you these little My Arcade. What do these little systems remind you of? This is, just let me show you. What do these remind you of? These little systems. They're super pockets, aren't they? They're basically exactly the same, but without the, well, they've probably got less games on them, and they haven't got the cartridge slot. But you can just see that market is so saturated, and it just makes you wonder why Blaze have gone down that route.
Intriguing. Derek, what do you think? Are we reaching critical mass of new systems?
I think we could be, really. I don't know how much longevity this sort of thing's got in it, especially these days with the Steam Decks and the things like that, which are sort of dominating the top end of the market there. There was definitely a really good time for these handhelds, especially around the NES Mini and the Super Nintendo Mini, that were taking off. And these sort of all jumped on the bandwagon. But yeah, I'm not sure how much life they've got in them. I think the most important thing for any of these handhelds is to get something everybody else isn't doing on your handheld. I have seen a couple. I've seen one Pico Interactive's working on, and I've seen another one that Pixel Hearts is as well. And they seem to have signed some pretty unusual arcade licenses. But yeah, if you're just going to go with run-of-the-mill price point, you've got to get it right, because how many handhelds are there out there that are running Taito or Capcom or Sega or Konami? So you really got to make sure you batten down the hatches and come in as tight as you can, making probably minimal profit, but maximizing your sales.
Intriguing. There's a good discussion to be had there for sure. I think there's probably a topic we can come back to on that. We have reached the end, gentlemen. It's been another packed episode. There's been lots to talk about, lots to digest, and the chat, as always, has been absolutely busy as anything. There's been a lot of people talking about a lot of great things in the chat there. So thank you everyone who has been in the chat and has been tuning in live. It's been very enjoyable. Always lovely to see everybody in the chat there. People disagreeing respectfully, which is the way it should be. Absolutely fantastic. So you are all welcome here in 2 weeks' time when we come back for episode 16, and I'm sure we will have some fantastic things to be talking about, as always. So just thank you, Ryan, and thank you as always, Derek, for having this show run as smooth as it does between the two of you. I literally just talk. I just say the topics. You guys run with it. So the show would be nothing without the pair of you. And yeah, just everyone who is in the chat, if you are not already, or for anyone in the YouTube verse that finds us through the elusive YouTube algorithm, if you are new to the channel, please do hit that thumbs up so that we know that you've been here. Consider hitting that subscribe button, because that means a great deal to us and would allow us to keep making great content. We will be here in 2 weeks' time for episode 16. And also we'll have a little cheeky plug for the Evercade Hangout, which is, as Ryan said, the fastest growing Evercade fans group on Facebook. It's a really good group of people. People, again, share their thoughts, they share their opinions. There's people that you may not agree with. So the only rule over at the Evercade Hangout is don't be a knob.
And
please
don't block the admins. That's what someone done the other day.
Yeah,
Disagreed
well,
with me, and he was like, "Right, you're blocked," and I was like, "Right, you're banned." See you later. I was like, "What you blocked me for?" I don't think he realised I was an admin. That did make me chuckle. I thought I can't keep an eye on him if he's blocked me, so I didn't have a choice.
Exactly. It does make it difficult to police the group if there are people blocking the admins. So yes, not the smartest move, but never mind. We don't very rarely do people get blocked from that group. But there have been instances. I know some people think it's lawless over at the bloody Evercade Hangout, but there are people that do raise issues with us. They do get looked into, and there have been people that have been told that don't behave like that. That's unacceptable. So it's a very good place to come if you want to talk to people who maybe might not agree with you. It's a great place. Come join us in the Hangout.
If people have got suggestions to what we talk about on these shows, then by all means drop any of us a message on Facebook or Twitter. So Top and Hats on Twitter, so you can always tweet him with ideas for the show. Message me and Ollie and Sir Top Hat as well in the Hangout, or just do a post on the Hangout and let us know what you want us to talk about, and we're always willing to talk about what people want us to talk about.
Brilliant stuff. So yes, like Ryan says, they're heading over to Derek over on Twitter, Sir Top and Hat. Give him a follow if you don't already, because you're missing out if you're not. Fantastic, gentlemen. It's been an absolute pleasure. Can't wait for the next episode. Hopefully Blunners will be able to join us on the next episode. But yeah, just thank you both for a wonderful evening. Thank you everyone again in the chat, and we will see you all in 2 weeks' time. So good evening and good luck with your Duke Nukem pre-orders. Get on that. Get on it. Good evening.